In all the Abrahamic religions, there is this understanding about paradise, Garden of Eden, and Garden of Flowers, Garden of God. And this is the change from the forest of thorns to the garden of God. And the essence, sweet children, you have to make this forest of thorns into a garden of divine flowers and construct the new world. And the question is, what service do you children do with the Father which no one else can do? And the answer is, only you children do the service with the Father of establishing the sun and moon dynasty kingdoms. No one else in the world can do this. You are now laying the foundation of the new world. Therefore, this old world is definitely to be destroyed. To create a garden of divine flowers and destroy the forest of thorns is the task of the Father alone. So the forest of thorns is the forest of people who violate each other. And the garden of flowers is the garden of people who have a give and take of perfume, virtues. The song Salutation to Shiva, Om Shanti. When any sage or sadhu gives a lecture, the first thing they say is Namaste. And some say Shiva Namaha, some say Krishna Namaha, some say Ganesh Namaha. So thinking these are God, they bow to God first and then they start talking. But Baba says salutations and namaste should be said to the one highest of the high Father. You children know that the highest of the high is the one God and his name is Shiva. And it is sung, Om Namo Shivaya. And Shiva is always called Baba. So first of all, Shiv Baba creates the creation. The creator is one, and in fact, there is only one creation. The whole drama is the creation. But the Father is called the creator and the world is called the creation. The world that the Father creates would surely be the new world, but he would definitely come in the old world, and this is why he is called the purifier. All the people of the world in general, and the people of Bharat in particular, remember the one Father, saying, O purifier, come. So everyone calls out to the Father when they have become fully unhappy and impure, but they don't know when they actually became unhappy or since when they have been remembering the Father. So the Father sits here and explains. He says, earlier also, O children, you do not know your births of happiness and sorrow. In the scriptures, it also says this. God says to the first man, you do not know your births. I, the ocean of knowledge, the knowledgeful one, sit here and explain to you. Shiva Baba says, I am the seed of the human world tree, and I am called the purifier. That means there is definitely the impure world and the pure world. So the pure world is called heaven, the garden. And then when the world becomes impure, old, then it is called a forest of thorns. At that time, the kingdom of Maya begins, and there are many, many human beings. So explain to anyone who comes that 5,000 years ago from today, Bharat became the garden of God. And the people there were very happy. There was only Bharat in the New World. There was no sign of any other land. Some islands were there, but no big continents like we have now. In New Bharat, there was also New Delhi, which was called Paristan. So Bharat was like a diamond, and it used to be called the world of happiness. And Bharat is now old, and it is called the world of sorrow. Baba now explains, in Delhi, they are putting on an exhibition about reconstructing a new world so that people can be explained as to how this world can become new. So it was called Gateway to Heaven. I don't know if you're old enough in Gyan to remember all those materials that they used, but I remember them. They made very nice books, like a very nice booklet to announce the exhibition with all the paintings in it. So no one else can explain this with pictures in front of him, and nor can anyone else have such an exhibition about the reconstruction of the new world. This is the first time that the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris are explaining this. When Bharat was new, everyone was happy, and Lakshmi and Narayan used to rule there. The land of Vishnu was the new world, and it is the task of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul alone, to create the new world. That is to say, to lay the foundation. So all this, which is, you can see in the Kalpa tree underground, all this work that's going on in the confluent sage, that's the foundation of heaven. So the people of Bharat who call themselves impure and corrupt cannot reconstruct the new world. You know what foundations those people have. And the Father says, I am laying the foundation of heaven, the new world. The old world is to be destroyed. This is a world of thorns. People are like thorns, and they cause harm to each other. Bharat was the garden of Allah, and God established it. They also say, salutations to Shiva, Om Namo Shiva, Shivai. How did Shiva Baba establish it? He is truly establishing the garden of Allah, the garden of divine flowers, through Brahma. He will change the forest of thorns and establish the deity sovereignty. He gives you children an invitation. Here too, children gave Baba an invitation. They said, Baba, come and see how we are using the pictures to explain how the new world is being established and how the old world is to be destroyed. Come and see this and give us Shrimat. Shrimat in this case means advice, any corrections, anything that has to be changed. So they invite Baba. It is very easy to explain to someone by using these pictures. At the top, there is the picture of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiva, to whom they say salutations. He is the highest. He creates the new world. There was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan, and it was only deities in Bharat. So the highest on high, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is once again establishing the sun and the moon dynasty kingdoms through Brahma and the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. They lived at the beginning of the Golden Age. Therefore, he must definitely have established this at the end of the Iron Age, and he's now doing it once again at this confluence age. In fact, all souls are children of Shiva, and all the embodied people are children of Brahma, Prajapita Brahma also. The entire role is recorded in each soul. Everything you do, everything that happens to you, everything you think and feel and say and don't say, the whole thing is pre-recorded inside. The first actors are those who take the full 84 births. And the system of taking rebirth has continued from the beginning. System, the custom. Initially, you are Sato Pradhan, and then you pass through the stages of Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. And when you were Sato Pradhan, it was the kingdom of the Sun dynasty, Lakshmi and Narayan. And you were 16 celestial degrees complete. Then you declined to 14 degrees, and these two ages are called the Garden of Flowers. That was the land of happiness. It is very easy to explain with these pictures. At the top is Shiv Baba, through whom the world renewal is taking place. It is Shiv Baba who creates Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. And it has to be explained to children how the new world is established and how the old world is destroyed. There are now so many religions, cultures, kingdoms. It is just the one deity civilization which no longer exists. It has disappeared, is forgotten. Those who belonged to that deity dharma, that civilization, now call themselves Hindus, because everyone was pure in the Golden Age, but now they have all become impure. Baba's name is the purifier. So who makes you impure? Only the Father explains this to you. And you children then explain to your brothers and sisters. Ravan, the figure of Ravan, is burned every year, and Ravan represents what makes you impure. Ravan does not have any form. So Shiv Baba's form is a point of light. Shiv Baba is someone. Ravan has no form and is not anyone. So Baba says he is incognito, just the force of evil, just a force, which is the force of everybody's negative karma collectively. So this image represents the 5 vices in man and the 5 vices in woman. So Ravan is the greatest enemy of Bharat, which has made Bharat worthless, like a shell. So now you must conquer Ravan by following my directions. At this time, all have become impure. So at this time, the Shrimat of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is required. So Shrimat means the directions of God, the concepts that he gives. So God is speaking. And he says, "O children, your souls, and you have been body conscious all this time." It's a concept. Now become soul conscious, an instruction. You souls are immortal, concept. You leave one body and take another. The Father says, "O Brahma, you do not know your births. And it is of you that it is said, for half the cycle there is the day of Brahma, and for half the cycle the night of Brahma." Now you children have understood these things, and this is why you have set up the exhibition. So now explain using these pictures. Brahma and the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris are now receiving their inheritance from the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. The inheritance, knowledge, and power. It is remembered, when the sun of knowledge rises, then the darkness of ignorance is dispelled. It is not a question of that sun in the sky, but I, the sun of knowledge, am raining knowledge on you at this time, through which you become pure from impure. So I am called the purifier. And I alone have the knowledge of how you become pure from impure and impure from pure. The new world is called pure, and the old world is called impure. Ravan, the force of negativity, makes it impure. So Ravan is negativity, and Ram is God. So not 2 people, but one is a being and the other is a force. And Ram does not refer to Ram of Sita. You children have to explain the secrets of the establishment and the destruction. This world renewal exhibition is for that. It is not mentioned in any of the scriptures that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, establishes the land of happiness through Brahma. Ravan, force of negativity, makes it into the world of sorrow. The Father comes and makes it into the land of happiness. So Ravan, or negativity, is the absence of light. Shiv Baba is actual light. There is happiness for half the cycle and sorrow for half the cycle. The golden and silver ages are the day, and the copper and iron ages are the night. And people stumble at night. They stumble around searching for God, and this too is fixed in the drama. For half the cycle there is knowledge, and for half the cycle there is bhakti. Only the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is called the ocean of knowledge, the sun of knowledge. It is only in Bharat that they celebrate Shiva Jayanti, the birth of Shiva. And that proves that Bharat alone is the birthplace of Shiva. He says, I have come into the impure world, and only then can I purify the impure. Lakshmi and Narayan, who were worthy of worship, have become worshippers. Those who were worthy of worship have become worshippers. Otherwise, in Hinduism, they believe God is worthy of worship and becomes a worshipper. He says, no, Lakshmi and Narayan, not God. The souls of Lakshmi and Narayan must take 84 births, and they take different names and forms. This Brahma carries out the establishment, and he also sustains it. That soul has now become impure, and therefore I enter his body and I name him Brahma. A very interesting comparison with the other founders of religion, that the soul enters a body, sets up the religion, and then sustains it through many births. And this is the soul of God in the body of Brahma. And then as Lakshmi and Narayan, or Vishnu, sustains it. The soul of God doesn't do the sustaining. The soul of Brahma does the sustaining. It's a very important thing to make that difference between the founders of religions and how God does what he does. They found the branches, he founds the whole tree. But he doesn't sustain it. Brahma sustains it. Well, that soul of Brahma, has now become impure, so I enter his body and I name him Brahma. So first of all, explain to them what is their relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. So Shiv Baba has to make Brahma into Vishnu, but he also has to make the soul of Christ, Muhammad, Abraham, Buddha, from impure to pure. So they would definitely say that he is the Father, that he is the Father of all souls, and all of you are the children of Shiv Baba. At this time, you are Bhagats, and all of you remember God. So the devotees say to God, "O God, give us the fruit of our devotion. We are unhappy. Give us liberation in life, Jivan Mukti." So the sages also, the sadhus, do sadhana in order to receive mukti and Jivan Mukti. So the sadhana is the spiritual practice. At this time, everyone calls out saying, "Come and purify the impure." Baba gives you directions about how to explain. We souls are residents. We live originally, we are dwellers of the world of silence, nirvana. We will leave our bodies. We will take others And we will definitely play our roles. You have no choice. We have to go through the different castes: Brahman, Devta, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This drama is eternally, perpetually predestined. A very, very important question is, do you have any choice? Yes and no, both. The cycle continues to turn, and you have to know how it turns. That means there's decline until the confluence age, then rise. There is one purifier, one creator, and one world. And you ask, how did we become impure from pure? What caused the decline? Time. Baba says, because you followed the influence of Ravan, sense perception, so the 5 vices occurred. So the 5 vices are called the directions or the influence of Ravan. Ravan means to know something through observation, through sense perception. And this is why the effigy of Ravan is burnt. But Ravan, sense perception, doesn't get destroyed. So the father says, children, you now have to conquer Ravan. That means to be able to perceive what's real without using your sense perception. That's Manmanabhav. That is to perceive the mind of God. What's in the mind of God? The knowledge of the creator and the creation. So those who conquer Ravan, sense perception, will become the masters of the kingdom of Ram, the kingdom of God. So this is your last birth. That means it is the end of the world. It is the Father who brings about the beginning of the world and also the final destruction of the world. The Father says, I lay the foundation of the new world and I inspire the destruction of the old world. Very, very deep how Baba inspires the destruction of the old world. What happens? You see it for what it is. You open up your eyes, your third eye, and you become free from matter as well as time. And then it comes back to the beginning by the power of Shiva Baba that you bring into it. So it is remembered that establishment takes place through Brahma, but it would not be through Brahma alone. I make Bharat into a garden of divine flowers through the Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. This is a forest of thorns. This now has to be set on fire, has to be burned. The purification through fire. You have now awakened, whereas all the other people are still sleeping. They don't know. Here there is sorrow and peacelessness, and you children continuously must remember the world of peace, nirvana, and your sweet home. Then you will receive the sweet kingdom as your inheritance. Continue to forget this kingdom of Ravan. So continue to be aware that what you see is not what it seems. Don't rely on the visible, the audible. Bharat, which was Paristan, the world of beautiful, pure people, has now become Kabristan, a graveyard. There is a saying that your body is a tomb. So the body conscious people are in the graveyard of the tombs of the bodies. But it will become Paristan once again. So Paristan is the place of embodied people, but the body is not a tomb because the people are beyond the body while being in the body. When the new world is ready, the old world will definitely be set on fire. You now have to prepare yourself for the new world. You will go there and you will build palaces inlaid with diamonds and jewels. Now there are only huts. Every cycle, the impure world becomes pure again, and the pure world becomes impure. You become impure gradually. A new building is built quickly, but it takes time to become old. By studying this knowledge, you will become the masters of the new world. You are now becoming 16 celestial degrees complete. Then it will reduce to 14 degrees. The degrees continue to reduce gradually. And now in the Iron Age, there are no degrees. It's degrees of spiritual light. Bharat was pure, and it has now become impure. And this play is about Bharat. If you are defeated by Ravan, sense perception, you are defeated by everything. Now you are gaining victory by following Shrimat, Acha, to the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. And the essence for dharna, do the service of purifying Bharat by following Shrimat. Stop following the dictates of Ravan, means the influence of sense perception, and follow the Shrimat of the One Father. Go according to what it is, not what it seems. Secondly, forget this world of sorrow and remember your sweet home, the world of light, the world of peace. Prepare yourselves to go to the new world. And the blessing is, may you reveal Father Brahma's actions through the mirror of your elevated actions and become equal to Father Brahma. So your karma like Brahma Baba's karma. Every elevated Brahmin soul is a mirror of Brahma Baba's karma in every action they perform. Let Brahma Baba's actions be visible in the mirror of your actions. Your speaking, walking, sitting, and doing of all of you children who perform every action with such attention are like the actions of Brahma Baba. That means every action would be worthy of a blessing, and blessings would constantly be emerging through their lips. some speciality would be visible even in their ordinary actions. So claim this certificate, and then you will be said to be like Brahma Baba. And the slogan is, in order to experience the avyakt stage, stay in solitude. Put aside extraversion and let your stage be introverted. Operate on the inside of your face, antarmukhi. And baharmukhi is you live on the surface of your body. That means only sense perception. That's all that has any meaning. But when you're on the inside of your face, you're looking at it with a distance, with dispassion, and you're not under its influence. Om Shanti. Experience the stage of being merged in love. The Father has so much love for the children that he always says, whatever the children are and however they are mine. That means as you are, whatever you are, good, bad, or indifferent, but you're Baba's. Right? Yes? In the same way, you children also are merged in the Father. So say with your heart, whatever Baba is, you are everything. Baba is everything. So do not be influenced by anything in the kingdom of falsehood. That means people, places, and objects. Anything that you can perceive through your sense perception as people, places, and objects. And what you perceive when you see clearly with your third eye is the creator and the creation. So do not be influenced by anything in the kingdom of falsehood, the world of appearances, what it seems. Remain stable in your kingdom of truth, the inner kingdom of truth. The difficulty is ego. And ego is our response to what we see and hear. Because we take our sense of identity by how we are reflected in what's going on externally. So if you are given honor, regard, appreciation, you feel good. And if you are sidelined or disregarded, you feel bad. Yes, this is totally normal. And it means that how you feel about yourself depends on what's happening on the outside. So you go up and down according to what's happening on the outside. And now Baba is getting us to go inside so far that what's going on the outside that takes you up or takes you down, it may want to do that, but you don't go along with it. And so staying in your swaman, your self-honor, your self-regard, is being egoless. So we have to make this comparison. When we're body conscious and ego is the same thing, identical. And very, very interesting Murli that Baba told us that we are influenced by sense perception. That's all. And to be uninfluenced by sense perception, very subtle stage. And yet that's the secret, that's the key. It's like your body and all the performance is like a robot. Your body is a robot, and all the things that are going on is like virtual reality. And you are doing everything through this robot or this avatar in this virtual reality, and everything is fixed. So that means we have to be completely detached from our role. If you are an actor, you may get a role as a villain or a hero. Either way. But you have to be a good actor to play the hero and a good actor to play the villain. Because you have to play what you have to play, right? This is your job. So then we have to understand our role and we have to play it well. But in the theater, the villain knows. I was looking at the Shakespeare play called Macbeth. And Macbeth is about a man who had very, very powerful ambition. And a psychic told him, you will be such and such, and you will be the king. And so he did lots of murders in order to make that true. And it destroyed him. So it was a very interesting exercise in the villain and his wife, Lady Macbeth, the two of them completely taken over by ambition. And what is ambition? You want the external signs that show you that you are great. But what it showed is it was really low. So ego is a very important thing to understand because it's deceptive. And Baba says you are, he gives us so many titles, and these are called titles of Swaman. So the Swadarshan Chakradhari, you can't be having ego and accepting that you are the highest and the lowest both. The Swadarshan Chakra means I am the deity, I am the Kshatriya, I am the Vaishya, and I am the Shudra, and I am the Brahman, all of it. The ego is one or the other and flip-flopping. He says you are the seers of the three aspects of time. He says you are seated in my heart. You are eternal, you are immortal. And when you take in these titles, it also pulls you in. And I think that it is a very good mechanism to distance us from the ego, because the ego is very difficult to see in yourself. You can see it in other people because you're distant. But to become distant from ourselves, these titles of self-honor or self-regard, self-respect, it's a very good method to see where the soul is under the influence of being put up and put down by people or external circumstances. So the key for this is we have to be independent from how people perceive us, whether they think we're wonderful, marvelous, or fantastic, or horrible, useless, etc. Nothing to do with anything. How God sees you, how he shows you how to see you, this is much more reliable. And I'm an actor, I have this robot, there's a performance, I have to play whatever is the allotted role, and I have to play it well. I have to understand the character that I have to play, because the characters of each of us is very complicated, and it contains the best and the worst, the strengths and the weaknesses. Very amazing. Om Shanti. Baba says everything is to be accomplished by yoga power, right? You create the new world by yoga power. I think the old world is also destroyed by yoga power. And whatever important thing has to be done time by time, that also gets done by yoga power. Sometimes people ask, why do we offer bhog? It's a time when everyone is very focused on Baba. So the quality of yoga power is intensified, definitely. And we bring Baba into the picture, because all of us are Baba's children, and he loves each one. As he said, as you are what you are mine. Because the greatest speciality of someone who becomes Baba's child is they recognize God. A very, very rare soul can recognize God. What does it take to recognize God? Do you have to be famous? No. You have to be a philosopher? No. What does it take? Maybe something like you resonate with truth. Is that a good criteria? You really want to know who you are. You really want to know what's going on. And you really want to know who is he. This is criteria, yeah? And you have love for God. You have love for truth. You have love for the world. Is it? And so I remember when Didi Manmohini was not well, and Baba had given direction that everyone must have yoga for Didi. And so everyone did that. Sometimes Baba will give a direction, everyone will do it, but not everyone will understand what it means or why he gives that direction and what happens as a result of doing that. And so when he says have yoga for someone or something, it is to cause circumstances that are the most favorable so that that person or that situation occurs in the best way or finds the best resolution. So therefore the vibration of yoga is healing, definitely. It enables the best outcome to happen. It like erases dissonance. And bad things happen through dissonance. So good things happen through the resonance of good yoga. Anyway, everything is predestined. Yesterday I was talking with Chandruben and she said, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Very strongly, so you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And nobody anticipated what happened today. And today only just started. Maybe other things will happen today. So the drama is predestined, but you don't know what's in it, second by second, moment by moment. The decision to have yoga, this is a choice. When you have yoga, you're not really doing anything. What does Shiva Baba do? It resonates. And when he says to us, be in my remembrance, have yoga with me, that means come into that resonance, amplify the resonance. And when there is a resonance, vibrations, it causes harmony. And the world is full of dissonance. And where there is dissonance, bad things happen easily. We put in harmony, whatever bad that could happen doesn't. I remember one time I was here in San Francisco a long time ago, and Daddy Janki was here to visit. And I went with a few other Brahmins to somewhere to visit. Daddy stayed here. And maybe it was not San Francisco, maybe it was Los Angeles, because the two are closely tied. But anyway, I came back and she said, I have to tell you something. Okay, tell me. She said, sit down. Your mother just had almost fatal car accident. So I said, okay, that means I have to go to England. And so went, and the hospital, myself and my brothers went there, and she was in coma. And so I said to them, okay, we'll meditate, because you can't do anything else. So we meditated, and we stood around her form and just stayed in meditation a long time. And the doctors said to us, what are you doing? She's getting better. How is this happening? And we said, we're meditating. He said, well, carry on, because this is working. And so it's just a very amazing thing that meditation causes healing. or recovery or repair, because anyway, the soul in the body is a resonance. And when you amplify that resonance with meditation, then everything comes to what it should be. So this is why it's very important. We do this for those souls who need specially our love and remembrance, and for the world, which especially needs love and remembrance. Many disasters are happening now. Yesterday, very big disaster in Brazil, where our brothers and sisters are. I contacted them that, are you okay? Yes, we are okay. And the Brahman connection with each other all over the world. And when anyone knows that someone's miles and miles away, but the mental connection is there, it kind of boosts the feeling of being okay. So all of our meditation is very important for many things. And this is the month of January, and January 18th is coming, and we are all participating in different bhattis and deep thought. What is this? What is Brahma's act that Baba said you have to do that act and mirror what Baba did? So we're thinking about this at this time. What is karmatit? What is the perfect stage? What does it mean to be the complete Brahmin? So all of this is going on very intensively throughout the world. Om Shanti.